This week on Archery 101, viewer question: is there a difference between 3 and 4 fletched arrows? Hey everybody, welcome to Archery 101. Greg here. Alright, this week we're going to do a viewer suggested video. I had multiple people throughout the years ask me, Greg, why do you shoot 4 feathers? Is there a difference between 3 and 4 feathers? And I told them why, but I don't really tell them there's a difference because I never really checked. And personally, I don't really care. I can answer the first question off real easy. The reason why I shoot 4 feathers is for one reason and one reason only. Shows up better on camera. When I do slow motion, the camera picks up the 4 feathers spinning down range better, and when it hits the target you can see the 4 feathers better. That's it. Nothing else, right? So, besides that, it leaves the second question. So I figured, you know what, let's run some tests and see really if there is a difference. Now before we go talking about that, there's some factors we need to take in consideration, right? And like anything else in life, the conclusion would depend on what type of archer we're going to do. I'm a trad archer. My ranges are from 30 yards on down, primarily 3D. I do indoor target, which is always 20 yards, or 18 meters. So everything I do is set around that little precept right there. Now, if you're like a field archer and you're shooting 70, 80 meters, you know what? Then some of these things might take effect. I'm not talking about them, but people don't seem to be able to separate it. It's an absolute to them. There's no absolute. The weakened spine was a beautiful one. I found no difference at 20 yards, which I shoot for indoors. 30 yards, I found no difference. But 50, 60, 70 yards, yeah, there might be a difference. So are they right? Well, yes, they are. Am I right? Well, yes, I am. Because they're two different worlds. They're two different ways of looking at it. So let's talk about this one. I want to give you just something to base all this off of first, all right? Because we're talking about how much can something affect an arrow. Let's say your arrow flies at 160 feet per second, right? In 1 second, that arrow is going to travel 53.3 yards. Yeah, I understand speed's not a constant, all right? But how much time do you think it's going to take that arrow to cover 10, 15, 20, or even 30 yards? If it can cover 53 in 1 second, right? So, what's it going to take, a millisecond? Half a second? Right? That ain't a whole lot of time for that arrow to have a lot of effect. Not saying it doesn't, but it's not going to have a major effect. You know, so shooting at those distances, you're not going to probably see any difference. Now, extend that range out, yeah, you probably will see a difference. So like I said, it's all subjective, right? I'm going with a typical trad archer, nothing past 30 yards. Alright, so this is what we're going to do today. I'm going to do a chronograph test. Let's see if there's a difference. I'm going to do it right off my bow, a few feet away. And I'm going to try to do it 10 yards downrange. Let's see, is there really a speed difference? Then I want to do it in slow motion if I can. This is going to be a tough one. I'm going to try it. And I'm going to try to induce some errors to see how fast it can recover from it. You know, does a 4 feather recover faster? Or does a 3 fletched one? I don't know. Remember, we're only going to shoot 20 yards, so there's not a whole lot of time for it to recover. And then finally, I want to know, do they impact different at 20 yards? I'm going to shoot an indoor target round, 20 yards away, back and forth. Let's see where they land, all right? Give us some answers, 3 to 4. Tell you my opinion in life is I don't sweat those things. You know what? Shoot what you got. That's what I do. All right, but let's have some fun. Let's go out and let's see what happens. Okay, everybody, I'm at the range. And one thing I forgot to check on this for the 3 to 4 feathers, weight difference, because people probably ask about that, and I try to anticipate most questions. 3 fletch, 335 grains. Yep, not touching, so that is actually balanced. 4 fletched. Make sure I didn't screw it up. Not touching. Yep. 4 fletched, 336 grains. 1 grain. Now, I will say I put them on my regular scale at home that I use for make my foam targets, and they both came to 22 grams. So, not much of a difference. These are 4-inch feathers. Now I'm not going into the whole 3 versus 3, 4-inch versus 4 or 5 inch. You know, we need to be here all year. It's going to cost me a lot of money for nothing. All right. So let's go outside. Let's see if there's a speed difference. All right, here I am, everybody outside. You'll hear people working. I'm using Predator 2s, 800 spines, 3 fletch versus 4 fletch. Got my chronograph right there. See the speed difference up close. And it's cold. And there's a gust and wind. But sacrifices I make for you guys. Hope you appreciate it. Alright, code shot of the day. $173 for the 4 fletch. $175 for the 3 fletch. All right, I'm gonna get them. We're just gonna keep shooting. Get me some numbers. $178. $173. $174. Duplicate. $175. $174. $177. $175. All right, there we go. Let's do the 10 yards if we can. All right, done with the up close. Now I'm going to do the 10 yards. Chronograph's about 10 yards away. I'm going to try to put her in there. This is the one I'm really interested in. I want to see if there's a drop off. Last time I did this testing, I found out 10 yards is a massive drop off, and then it stabilizes more. All right, this is going to be fun trying to shoot just above that damn thing. One 165. See, big drop off. 170s, 10 feet per second. It's amazing. 3 fletched. Can't read it. 171. Beautiful shot. 158. I think I got the spot where to aim. $165. $165. I am highly consistent with the 4 fletched. Oh, bad shot. But it did count. 169. Habits. 167. $167. $164. Beautiful shot. 167. 164. 166 in the snow. Gonna have a wet feather. 3 fletched. $166. All right, everybody, all done shooting. Amazingly, I found that there was that drop off. Almost 10 feet. You'll see the numbers. It's roughly 10 feet. I'll figure out once I go back and write them all down and crunch it. But there is that drop off. It is really there. So when you shoot your bow right next to that chronograph, that's a fake speed. I'm telling you right now. When I'm 10 yards away, I'm almost 8 to 10 feet per second slower. So there's something going on here. And these arrows are pretty well tuned. Actually, they're not. They're flying great. So it's interesting. I've been seeing it with all different arrows. Right off, general impression, just seeing the numbers, no difference up close. No difference. But from 10, a foot, maybe 2. All right, we'll see what the real averages are. A foot, maybe 2, so maybe it is slightly slower. All right, don't know. But now we're going to go back in so I can warm up. And 2, we can see if there's any practical difference between the two. All right, everybody, now we're indoors. Let's see if there's a difference shooting wise. I have a NFAA 40 centimeter target, 20 yards downrange. I only have 2 arrows. So I'm just going to shoot 2 back to back, do it a bunch of times. Let's see what happens. Wow. There we go. Three fletched. All right, getting it down to where I need to be, but the one thing I do notice is the feathers. I use a feather to touch my nose, and the 3 touches in a different spot than the 4. And that's the only thing throwing me off. But right there, it pretty much shows it. So we're just going to keep shooting. And let's see how this all falls apart. Or hopefully I don't fall apart. Well, you know what I mean. Three fletched. Alright, there you have it. I'm done. Gonna back crunch the numbers, see what they hit. Tell you right now, I'm not shooting any different for either one, but like anything else, my opinion is I have more influence on what's happening downrange than my equipment. Alright? I don't care if it's 3 feathers, I don't care if it's spine, the reasonable amount difference. I can shoot 600s, 800s out of this just as well. Brace height doesn't bother me none. I don't even check it. Draw length, don't even pay attention to. It's more me. It's all about me, and that's what I focus on. I don't worry about the gear so much. I worry about me. I get me squared away, and that stuff will take care of itself. All right, all done. Crunch some numbers, take it back to the studio. Let's see what conclusions we can draw. All right, everybody, testing's all done. Let's talk about it. So the big question was at the start of the day, and the whole video is about it, is there a difference? Well, I did several tests, right? First one, let's talk about weight. My 3-fletched was 335 grains. My 4-fletched was 336 grains. So is there a difference? Not really. 1 grain. I mean, that could be a variance in the arrow, variance in the head. So, but technically speaking, yes, there was. But 1 grain, not much. So let's look at speed. I did 2 tests. I tested right off the bow and 10 yards away because I found, and this has proved it once again, there is a massive drop of speed 10 yards away. All right? So when you hear people talk about the speed of the bow, let's keep that in mind. Yeah, you might be shooting 190 right off your bow, but what are you shooting 10 yards away? 180, 170, who knows? All right? So what did I have? Up close. Both scored 174 feet per second. Now, you want to break it down. I did the math. I removed the high, I removed the low. 3-fletched scored a 174.6. 4-fletched scored a 174.3. So is there a difference? Not really. You know what? As with anything, I have a bigger impact on the speed of that arrow than anything else, and the feathers will ever have. Because I could get from 178 down to 158, a 20 feet per second difference just from proper body positioning. But I will say I was amazingly consistent, which was good to see from me. But now let's look at it out at 10 yards, right? At 10 yards, my 3-fletched went 167 feet per second, while my 4-fletched did 165. Is there a difference? Yeah, 2 feet per second. Again, my speeds were really consistent, so this one's real. So yes, there is a very slight difference at 10 yards. Now, if you shot it farther out, would you see more of a difference? I would assume so. I just don't know how much. All right, so no and yes. And finally, the target. Is there a difference in shooting? Well, here's my little matrix here that I made up. You can see how I shot. 3-fletch. I did 2 X's, 2 5s, 4 4s, and 3 3s. With the 4-fletch, I shot 2 X's, 5 5s, and 7 4s. Now, I'm going to say there's no difference for me at 20 yards shooting that target, because the reason for the 3s on the 3-fletch was, I used, like I said in the video, I used that feather touching my nose so I know where I'm at, and I couldn't get it right. It just didn't feel right. But once I figured it out and I calmed it down, I started shooting much better. So the one I tried to do and I couldn't really get on the film was to see if it corrected any better, right? My camera only shoots at 60 frames per second, and it's not enough. But I can tell you just from shooting, when I screw up, I screwed up. It really didn't make a difference. So I can't answer the question, does 4-fletch recover faster than a 3-fletch? Pretty have to much build a wind tunnel, which I really would like to do, but I don't really have the room for it. So there you have it, boys and girls. Is there a difference between 3 and 4-fletch? Weight? No. Speed? Close? No. 10 yards? A little. Farther out? Possibly. Practical-wise? Results-wise? Not really. Again, nothing will have more impact on your shooting than you. All right? People stress over equipment so much, especially the beginners, right, that they're actually impeding themselves. Just shoot. So why do I shoot 4 feathers? You know why. I said it in the beginning of the video. Because it shows up better on camera. So if you want to do it for your reasons. But now you got some information to go by. Do you think it will improve your shooting? I seriously doubt it. Alright, boys and girls. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time with an all-new episode of Archery 101.